The Chatham News. The Chatham News. The Chatham News. News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
Good evening, welcome to the main news on KFM 95.5 and those following us on Facebook and YouTube. To present it, I'm Jack Mapembolo. We first take a look at the top stories. Citizens First, President Harry Kalava says the UPND has brought misery on Zambians. The Zambia Police Service arrests 6 people for allegedly aiding Honorable Emmanuel J. Banda's escape from custody. The Lusaka High Court rejects the Attorney General's application to lift the stay granted to 9 PFMPs. In international news, Tanzanian police release opposition leaders after mass arrests, and GBFC target winning 2024 CAF Women's Champions League and COSAFA qualifier.
The Chatham News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
And now the news in detail. Citizens First, President Harry Kalava says under the UPND, Zambians have been subjected to untold suffering and misery. Speaking when he featured on Kwitu FM radio this morning, Mr. Kalava said President Hichilema Mingalato are only making Zambians to suffer even more. He said the UPND government should begin to treasure citizens who are the custodians of power. He said it's sad that the UPND government and President Hichilema only value the elite at the expense of ordinary citizens. And Mr. Kalava, who is also former Lands and Foreign Affairs Minister, said it is laughable for President Hichilema to announce the increase of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, in the next budget when his government has failed to administer the current fund. He said not all constituencies have received the current 25 million kwacha CDF and wonders why President Hichilema has continued to brag about it. The Zambia Police Service has arrested 6 people for allegedly aiding Petauke Central Member of Parliament Honorable J. Banda's escape from lawful custody. This includes Lombechali, one of Honorable Banda's wives, 2 police officers, and 3 correctional service officers. Police spokesperson Rea Monga says they all have been charged with the offense of aiding a prisoner to escape contrary to Section 120, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Mr. Monga further said the Zambia Police Service remains committed to upholding the law and ensuring that those who breach the law, regardless of their status or position, are held accountable. The Lusaka High Court has today rejected the Attorney General's application to lift the stay granted to 9 Patriotic Front PF members of Parliament. These MPs had their seats declared vacant by Second Deputy Speaker for the National Assembly, Moses Boyo. However, the MPs challenged this declaration in court, resulting in a stay of the decision. Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha sought to have this stay overturned, which would have permitted the Electoral Commission of Zambia to proceed with announcing 9 parliamentary by-elections. This move was widely criticized by many Zambians, given the country's current financial challenges. The main hearing for the case is set to begin on 9 September 2024. The MPs involved are Brian Mundibide, Stephen Kampiongo, Remember Mutere, Christopher Kangombe, Ronald Chitotela, Nixon Chilangwa, Davis Sopa, Mlenga Fube, and Mutope Kafuaya. They have applied for judicial review following the declaration of their seats as vacant in July. Residents of Lunga district have complained of the high cost of living in the area. Through songs, residents told the Member of Parliament, Chanda Katotobwe, about the struggles people are facing to find food. They complained that the cost of meal has been increasing and is fetching over 500 kwacha per 25 kilogram in parts of Lunga Island. Residents complained that the cost was too high for the majority of citizens to buy, as the meal used to be sold at 120 kwacha only a few years ago under the Patriotic Front government. They further complained to the Ropla constituency PF lawmaker that life is unbearable at the moment because all essential commodities are too expensive and everything must be transported on both road and water transport, which has become very expensive. A senior citizen from Mansa Pomambili Makarwa's urged Zambians to utilize available land and water bodies for farming. Karwa expressed concern over the reliance on handouts, particularly in regions with agricultural potential like Luapula. He emphasized the importance of cultivating crops such as vegetables, tomatoes, and onions to mitigate the impact of the current economic hardship. The senior citizen highlighted the soaring cost of essential commodities and the urgent need for individuals to become self-sufficient. He encouraged people to grow their food to reduce expenses on vegetables and other basic items.
Economy, Zambia citizen, by 10%, may say maybe 5%, but what about Washa? Pull out Shaba for the job of some Isha and my holiday. No Kunisha, Amatito, my government, never come back. Anyway, let's you put your move soul. The sun will go up for 4,000 and about 1,000 per candidate. Tell you, Nama, usually can Gunangan. Chupa ikalashe porte mukulalo mbele shake mchitaki kubego mbako kwa mtu alikane nje shimopali wa mchitaki bano mshiki tosho kulima shina musa mchitaki market ushonse kula bwede kungu kulima atwa ishiba kama kuliashi no kuberesha okerera no kulomba lomba wenda apepi apa 50 meters ufate 100 meters ufwa taxi ndio Honda hiyo ni kitu kawaida kwa magasi.
Economic freedom fighters condemn government's purchase of Zambia's Chiawa farm. The EFF has criticized the purchase of Chiawa farm for an exorbitant $13.5 million, particularly given that 75% of the property is underdeveloped bushland. EFF President Kasonde Mwenda says the decision is not only a betrayal of the Zambian people, but also a glaring example of the corrupt practices that the current government promised to eradicate.
Only a betrayal of the Zambian people, but a stark reminder of the corrupt practices that this government pledged to eradicate. The Chiawa farm, which shockingly remains 75% undeveloped bushland, has been acquired from Zambia, a private entity in which President Haile Hichilema holds a vested in transaction risks of corruption and conflict of interest, with Mr. Hichilema failing to declare his personal stake in Zambia, thus deceiving the Zambian people. We must ask, how did the government justify selecting this farm over the many others owned by ordinary Zambians who lack the political connections of Zambia? Our state is grappling with a mountain of debt and struggling to provide for its citizens. Yet the government has chosen to funnel millions into this questionable transaction. This is daylight robbery from an economically embattled state treasury for the benefit of a few. We demand that this transaction be revisited and reversed immediately. The EFF stands firm in its commitment to defending the rights and interests of the Zambian.
Health Minister Elijah Muchima says that artificial intelligence AI has the potential to transform the healthcare landscape in Africa by enhancing healthcare delivery, improving patient outcomes, and optimizing health systems. Dr. Muchima, however, says as countries embrace the advancement, it is important to confront the challenges and responsibilities that come with artificial intelligence. He says as countries establish the regulatory frameworks, they must ensure that the technologies are safe, ethical, and equitable. Dr. Muchima was speaking in Livingston during the official opening of the annual conference of the Association of Medical Council of Africa, AMCOA. Before we take a look on the international news, a recap on the local news headlines. Citizens First President Eric says the UPND has brought misery on Zambians. The Zambia Police Service arrests 6 people for allegedly aiding Honorable Emmanuel J. Banda's escape from custody. The Lusaka High Court rejects the Attorney General's application to lift the stay granted to 9 PFMPs. Coming up next is the international news on sports.
News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
And now in international news, several leaders of Tanzania's main opposition party, Chadema, and hundreds of their supporters were released on Tuesday after mass arrest of a banned youth meeting in the southwest of the country, police and party spokespersons said. Human rights organizations have criticized the arrest, with Amnesty International saying they were part of efforts to intimidate the opposition in the run-up to local government elections later this year and the national election in 2025. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has taken some steps to ease restrictions on the media and opposition since coming to power in 2021, but rights groups say arbitrary detentions have continued. Police banned the meeting in the city of Mbeya that Chadema's youth wing planned to hold on Monday on the grounds that it was likely to breach the peace. In total, more than 500 Chadema supporters were arrested over Sunday and Monday, as well as party chairman Freeman Mbowe and vice chairman Tundu Lissu. The Russian forces on Tuesday struck back at Ukrainian troops with missiles, drones, and airstrikes in actions that one senior commander said had halted Ukraine's advance after the biggest attack on sovereign Russian territory since the war began. Thousands of Ukrainian soldiers smashed through the Russian border a week ago in a surprise attack that Russian President Vladimir Putin said was aimed at improving Kyiv's negotiating position ahead of talks and slowing the advance of Russian forces along the front. The Ukrainian forces carved out a slice of Russian territory, prompting Moscow to evacuate almost 200,000 people while it rushed in reserves. Russia war bloggers reported intense battles across the Kursk front as the Ukrainians tried to expand their control, though they said Russia was bringing in soldiers and heavy weaponry and allowed many Ukrainian attacks. Russia's defense ministry published images of Su-34 bombers striking at what it said were Ukrainian troops in the Kursk border region and said it had repelled attacks at villages about 26 to 28 kilometers from the border. And now in sports, Green Buffaloes Women's Football Club have set their sights on winning the 2024 CAF Women's Championship League and COSAFA qualifier. The tournament will run from August 15 to 24 in Malawi. Head coach Karo Kanyemba says the team has every reason to target winning the trophy as former champions 2022. Kanyemba said the team is working hard to bring the trophy back home like they did in 2022. They are in Group A alongside University of Western Cape FC of South Africa, Irentos Queens of Zimbabwe, FC Ogos Ladies of Namibia. Buffaloes will start their Group A campaign against University of Western Cape FC on Thursday, 15th August 2024 at the 10,000 capacity Imperial Stadium in Blantyre. Group B has host Ascent Academy, who battle against Gaborone United Ladies FC of Botswana, União Desportiva de Ruchinga of Mozambique, and Young Buffaloes of Eswatini. And our Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts, Honorable Elvis Nkandi, believes it's time for the Copper Queens technical bench to leave the stage. Nkandi believes that the tipping point was Zambia's 6-5 loss to Australia on the Paris 2024 Olympics after taking a 5-2 lead. The minister feels the government should have a role to play in the picking of a coach when the National Sports Council of Zambia signs the long-awaited MOU with FAS, which will make them responsible for paying for the Copper Queens coach. Nkandi was speaking during a press briefing at the new government complex on Monday morning. We now come to the end of this news bulletin, but before I run a recap on the top stories. Citizens First President Ari Kalaba says the UPND has brought misery on Zambians. The Zambia Police Service arrests 6 people for allegedly aiding Honorable Emmanuel J. Banda's escape from custody. The Lusaka High Court rejects the Attorney General's application to lift the stay granted to 9 PFMPs. And in international news, Tanzanian police release opposition leaders after mass arrest. In sports, Green Buffaloes target winning 2024 CAF Women's Champions League and COSAFA qualifier. We come to the end of this news bulletin on KFM 95.5 and on our Facebook page, K-FM 95.5, and YouTube, K-FM Zambia 95.5. Join me tomorrow morning for another bulletin coming up at 06:45. But don't forget, we still have the news summary coming up at 20 hours this evening. On behalf of the news crew at K, I'm Jack Mapembolo. Keep listening to K.
News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
As a young driver, you're more likely to take a number of the deadliest risks on our roads, including speeding, overtaking blind, driving on drugs, and not belting up.
It's more than just radio.
Number one, we tell them, they will learn the name when they go to Gabon from a bomb. And they tell them,